Today I'm coming to you live from my bed because I'm freaking exhausted. I way overexerted myself this weekend, but I promised I was going to go live today and I don't want to let you guys down. So here I am. Today we are going to be talking about the Lyme protocols that I've tried and why I stopped my first two. I'm on my third right now. So I'm just gonna go into a little bit about that. So I'm gonna go live with my diagnosis story next week, probably next Sunday. I didn't prioritize that because it's up on my story. It's a really short read. I want to say it's like 3 small paragraphs if you want to check it out. If you rather wait until next week, I'm gonna go into a lot more detail than the what's on my blog has. Again, that's www.drugfree.spoonie.com if you do want to read it. It's not necessarily something that you need to know right now. What you do need to know is that I was diagnosed in April of this year. My actual doctor's appointment was March 31st, and I got my results on April 12th. And when I went to the doctor on March 31st, he believed that I had Lyme. So I got a clinical diagnosis. So based on my symptoms, he believed I had Lyme and Babesia at the time, which I actually have Babesia, Bartonella, Q fever, Mycoplasma pneumoniae. Then I have crazy Epstein-Barr numbers, Candida. I think that's everything. But obviously, a lot of that stuff, with a lot of that stuff, the symptoms are overlapping. So he just knew, he believed that I had Lyme co-infection. So I actually started my treatment before I even got my blood work back. Slightly, I had to, it was pretty expensive for everything. So I waited a little while, but I did start before I was even diagnosed. So I actually have the paper here that he gave me. You guys probably won't be able to see. Doctor handwriting, of course. Can't really read it, but I'm going to tell you guys what's on it. That's why I'm here today. So, first, again, this was before my diagnosis. He gave me azithromycin. If I'm looking down, I'm reading the paper because I'm brain fog, especially when I'm tired. Azithromycin and Mepron. The Mepron, I'll just go through everything and then I'll talk about each thing and how it affected me. I was also on Mariva, curcumin, which is turmeric, Body Bio, which is omega-6 and omega-3. And it was like the consistency of olive oil, really disgusting. Like I would have anxiety every time. I just said I wasn't gonna talk about them one-on-one. I was just gonna list them, but whatever. I would have anxiety every time it was time to take my medicine at night because I didn't want to drink a tablespoon of olive oil. So yeah, I was also prescribed or told to take B12, Neuromag, magnesium, and it was like a powder format to put it in liquid, also gross. Culturel and Bifido, which are my 2 probiotics. So starting from the bottom, because the more intense stuff was at the top, the Bifido and Culturel, I didn't notice a difference. It was meant to help me help my stomach handle the antibiotics, and I still take Culturel. I actually just stopped taking Bifido a few days ago because I ran out and I realized that I'm not on antibiotics right now, so I probably don't need that many probiotics. The Neuromag, I didn't really notice a difference when taking that. I just know that it was gross, honestly. I'm sure it did something. All of this stuff was thrown at me at once, after not treating for the whole 2 years pre-diagnosis. So I can't really tell what did what, or what was working and what wasn't. I just know how, I kind of have some idea of how certain things affected me. So the Body Bio, as I said, was pretty gross, but I think that that helped with brain fog and memory because our brains are made mostly of fat, or a high percentage of fat is in our brain. So we need to take fat to support our brain. So I'll probably start taking coconut oil again since I don't take the body bio anymore. The turmeric I still take every day. It I believe that's what helped with shortness of breath as well as joint pain. I also stopped eating gluten, so I know for a fact that makes a huge difference in my joint pain because when I slip up, it's not fun. Gluten has a huge effect on my pain levels as well as my brain fog and my memory. If I eat gluten within probably like 3 hours, I won't remember anything. Like I will lose my train of thought in the middle of a sentence. I won't remember what I did the day before. Like it's really, really bad. And of course, I still make mistakes. I'm not perfect. Yeah, so that's something I'm still working on, but the turmeric definitely helps. The Mepron, I honestly only took one time. I felt like I was gonna die. So it feels like a combination of the worst motion sickness that I've ever had, and being hungover, and being high, like a narcotic high, um, without the high part. I don't know. So if you take pain meds for pain and not to get high, you probably know what I mean. It kind of just puts you in a different type of fog. So yeah, that's what I felt like, and like a dizziness or a vertigo. The zithromycin, I didn't necessarily notice a difference, but like I said, I only took the Mepron once, so the only thing that I was treating with was the zithromycin. Um, the My doctor wanted me to go on even more antibiotics because I have so many co-infections. I don't know if I said Bartonella and Babesia earlier, but because of all my different co-infections, he thought that I should be on multiple antibiotics. I didn't think my body can handle it, which was the main reason why I stopped this protocol. So with the azithromycin, and these supporting supplements and herbs, I started having seizures, and I've never had seizures in my life. I was herxing. All my symptoms were worsened. I want to say it was around the full moon, and I started having seizures. My seizures are very, very small. I forgot what the scientific name for them are, but it'll just be one part of my body, or one side of my body, or rapid blinking. I'm conscious always when I have them. Um, but that's when I started with my first herx on azithromycin. Um, After that, I stopped taking it. The doctor prescribed me. First, he said I should see a neurologist to make sure it was Lyme related, which I didn't do. And that is for two reasons. I forgot to give the disclaimer also that I'm not a doctor and don't just go and do any of these things that I did. Obviously, I'm telling you guys the things that I took so that maybe you can present them to your doctor and say, hey, this really helped her. Do you think I should try this? Or these are the side effects that someone else had from it. Should I be concerned about it? So again, of course, legally, um, I have to give that disclaimer that I'm not trying to give health advice. I'm just speaking about my experience. So yeah, so with the azithromycin, I started having seizures. I was told to go to a neurologist, which I did not do because I don't like going to doctors since being diagnosed with Lyme and knowing that no one listens to you, knowing that no one believes you, knowing that doctors disregard it. I just don't feel like I need to. I don't want to deal with that. Also, it's really expensive, and to go to the Lyme specialist, I can't afford it right now. I mean, like over $1,000 expensive. So yeah, and I never ended up going to a neurologist. Also, I knew that it was because of the herx, because I only have them when I herx. So yeah, I should go to a neurologist. I might go, but I rarely have them. If I herx really bad, I'll have a few. I'll take my lorazepam and I'll be fine. So that's why I stopped taking azithromycin. I just felt that it wasn't it was obviously it was doing something if I was herxing, but the zithromycin by itself couldn't have gotten rid of all of my co-infections. So I would have had to probably take doxy, which I also had like a crippling migraine. Like I could not get out of bed. I'm surprised I didn't have seizures then, but it was really, really bad. And I just didn't want to overload my body with that many antibiotics. So I thought about doing Cowden's protocol. There's plenty of information out there on Cowden's protocol if you would like to look it up. It is all encompassing. It's a group of herbs that you take a few times a day and meant to treat everything. But because I know that I'm sensitive and I know that I had such a tough reaction to the zithromycin, I decided to go in a little easier, and I did the results RNA sprays, which I meant to grab before this started. Let's see if I can reach it. Give me 1 second, guys. Got it. So the results RNA sprays look like this. And they consist of colloidal silver, which is like the bacteria killing part. This is nano, which is zeolite. This one is glutathione, which is known to help the body detox, so like to avoid herxes. It says antioxidant, immune system support. And then this is neuro, which is cognitive function and enhanced mental clarity. It does list all of the ingredients, but I'm not going to be able to read most of them, so I'm not going to. So with the results RNA sprays, as you can see, they're in my little bag that I keep all my medicine in. I do still take those. However, I stopped taking the silver because I started having seizures. And the reason why that's such a big deal to me, even though my seizures are so minor, is because I still work full time and I have to work full time. If I don't work full time, I won't have the money to treat. So I have to take it slow. I have to go low and slow, so that I can continue to work and I can treat at the same time, because that's what our family needs right now. So I stopped the colloidal silver. I still thought about Cowden's, but obviously if my body was having a hard time with the silver, Cowden's might be a little rough. And the thing about Cowden's is it's very customizable. I could go easy with it, but over the months that it's taking me to get to this point, which April, May, June, July, August, April, May, June, July, August, September. So it's been 6 months since my diagnosis. I was doing a lot of research about different things that I can do. I didn't want to do long-term antibiotics. You can do your own research on that. I don't want to go into it too much because it's such, a controversial subject, for one, and for two, everybody's different. For some people, long-term antibiotics work. Sometimes people do off and on. Sometimes people cycle antibiotics and that works for them. It's just not something that I want to do right now. So long story short, I did tons and tons and tons of research, and I decided that I wanted the amp coil, and I was blessed. I had a financial blessing, which allowed me to have the down payment, and I'm financing the amp coil right now. My first week, I was fine. When I got to the detox thing, the detox step, which the first one is the airways detox. It's a 30-step detox. The first one is airways. I had a seizure of probably like between 5 and 10 minutes into it. I'm just really, really, really sensitive. I'm really sensitive. And so I did the airway detox the first time I had a seizure while I did it. Then I did a program on the amp coil called Herx Help, which is meant to help you through herxes, obviously. I had another seizure. I gave myself, I want to say, like a week, because if you herx on a step of the detox, you're supposed to repeat it again until you don't hurt. So the second time I did it, I didn't have a seizure. The third time I did it, I didn't have a seizure, but I felt like crap probably the second time. The third time I didn't feel like crap. I just kind of maybe got like a little headache the next day. Overall, it was pretty discouraging because after airways is brain. So, as you can imagine, if I had seizures from doing airways, I was absolutely terrified to do brain. So I contacted Amcoil support. They helped me come up with an amazing plan. I was no longer discouraged, and that is the protocol I'm working on right now. So with the new plan, um, I'm only on the first step. I had to repeat the first step twice. So now I'm moving on to the second step, and I'm going to either do it today or tomorrow night. I most likely will do it today, just get it out of the way. It's probably about a half hour long. The amp coil is fairly easy to use. Like I said, the support is awesome. It's expensive. It's very expensive, but I genuinely believe and I have faith that it's going to. I'll be in remission by next year. I really believe that. You can read a lot of stories on their website. You can talk to people at the company. And obviously, you can't always take people's word for things. I don't know that these people are paid or they aren't lying. I don't know that. I just had to speak to the universe and ask for guidance and put my faith in something. Because what choice do I have? I want to get better. And with Lyme disease, there's not enough research for there to be a cure. There's not enough research to know the best way to go about things, on top of the fact that everybody's different, like I said. So I believe that this is going to be what worked for me. There was a lot of signs that took me to this place. If you're not spiritual or religious, this might sound crazy to you, but it's what I believe in, and it's what I'm going to continue to do. So yeah, those are the 3 protocols I've tried. It's only been 6 months and I'm already on my third. And I don't want to look at it as me giving up. I want to look at it as me doing what's best, not only for my body, but for my life and my family right now. Obviously, if I got to the point where I was bedridden or that I couldn't work or, whatever may happen, I would take the most extreme measures necessary. But right now, I'm able to work and I'm able to treat at the same time as long as I take it slow. So that's what I'm doing. If you have any questions, I'm also, like I said, I'm still taking the results RNA as I'm doing the amp coil. I'm also still taking the B12 and turmeric in the morning. I'm taking Encotrel. And at night I do the sprays again, and I do dandelion root for liver health and more turmeric. Also, if I'm herxing, I do charcoal around midday. So, yeah, if you have any questions about anything that I've mentioned, feel free to shoot me a message. Sorry, I'm just checking if there's any comments in there or questions in there. Feel free to shoot me a message. I spend a lot of time on Instagram. I do have a Facebook. I don't really keep up with it. Like I said, I work full time. I still have chronic fatigue. I'm tired. I'm sure you can hear it in my little raspy voice right now. So yeah, if you have any questions, but fastest way to reach me is either Instagram at drugfree.spoonie or email drugfree.spoonie@gmail.com. Again, if you want to read any of my blog posts, I have a few up there now. I haven't written in there in a while, just brain fog takes over. You can go ahead and head over to drugfreespoonie.com. I'm an open book. I love talking to people. I love answering questions. I love sharing my story. I love hearing people's tips. I love hearing what worked for other people. I love it. I love what I do with my blog. So yeah, I'm always here if you need to talk. If you have any questions, just feel free to reach out to me. And I really enjoyed talking to you all today. Thanks for tuning in.